Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the CompuEdge Infocom Limited Q3 FY21 earnings conference call. This conference call may contain forward-looking statements about the company, which are based on the beliefs, opinions, and expectations of the company as on date of this call. These statements are not the guarantees of future performance and involve risks and uncertainties that are difficult to predict. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then zero on your touch-tone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Atul Mehta, Chairman and MD, CompuEdge Infocom Limited, for his opening remarks.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on CompuEdge Infocom Limited's Q3 FY21 earnings conference call. I hope you and everyone around you is safe and in good health. Along with me today, we also have SGA, our investor relations advisors. We have uploaded our press release and results presentation on the stock exchanges, and I hope everybody had a chance to go through the same. Let me first start with the business highlights. I'm pleased to report that our company has fully recovered from the COVID crisis by surpassing last year's Q3 revenue and increasing profitability by 13% year over year in Q3 FY21. We witnessed broad-based growth across all our segments, which are IT consumer, enterprise, mobility, and cloud. As lockdown restrictions were eased during the quarter, we witnessed renewed demand for IT products led by reopening of sales offices, while demand for mobility and personal use products continue to sustain from employees working from home. Work from home integrated with office will lead to enhanced demand from both these segments. Penetration of IT products continue to be much lower in India as compared to the developed countries, giving us the long-term visibility of sustained growth. With a view to capture this value chain, even Government of India has unveiled various PLI schemes to promote manufacturing of IT products, IT and mobility products in India. A general trend which is observed across the world is that companies are focusing on specialization and continue to outsource their non-core functions. There are two benefits to this. First, it allows the company to focus on their core competency, whereby the management bandwidth and company resources are directed towards the areas which matter. Second, it also allows them to reduce costs by outsourcing their non-core functions and delegating it to the companies who are specialized in those areas which can operate the same function at a lower cost. The distribution industry is going through this transition. As a leading distribution player, CompuEdge with its pan-India network and efficient supply chain adds immense value to our vendors, taking care of their distribution angle and providing a wider range to their products while they can focus on their core competency of developing newer products and upgrading existing products. Let me now give you an overview of our consolidated Q3 FY21 results. Total income for Q3 FY21 stood at 1,013 crores as compared to 979 crores in Q3 FY20, up by 3.5% year over year. Gross profit for Q3 FY21 stood at 44.4 crores as compared to 44.1 crores in Q3 FY20, up by about 1% year over year. EBITDA for Q3 FY21 stood at 22.8 crores at similar levels to last year Q3. EBITDA margins for Q3 FY21 stood at 2.3% at same levels when compared to Q3 FY20. PAT for Q3 FY21 stood at rupees 6.1 crores as compared to rupees 5.4 crores in Q3 FY20, up by 13% year over year. To conclude, we believe there is a long-term growth opportunity in the IT distribution space in India, given the lower penetration of IT products. Going ahead, our focus continues to be on partnering with newer brands, enhance our product offerings, and improve the profitability through better product mix and cost efficiency initiatives. With economy now recovering, we are very confident and positive on growth ahead of India as well for our company. With this, I now open the floor for Q&A.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and two. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Amit Shah from A Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello. Hi, sir. I have a couple of questions. Sir, first, what is our current working capital cycle in number of days?
Our current working capital cycle is approximately 38 days. Net working capital cycle.
Okay, so can you give us the breakup in terms of debtor days, inventory days, and payable days?
Yeah. So receivables is at 52 days, inventory is at 24 days, and payables is at 41 days.
Okay. Sir, and how do you see this thing going forward? Are we seeing any reduction in days or something?
We are trying to work on reducing the cycle, but as we see, it's not going to be happening in the immediate future. We expect the trend to continue because the enterprise business, which is the biggest category of business in CompuAge, the business happens on longer credit cycles, and therefore compressing this further is going to be taking some time. That's something that we have to work on.
Okay. So that is helpful. Sir, my second question, sir, what is our company's total debt and what would be the cost of debt as on December?
So the total debt more or less remains at similar levels at March, which is closer to about 400 to 425 crores. And the cost of finance on the averaging is in the region of about 11 to 11.5%.
Okay. Sir, and my last question will be, sir, can you provide segment revenue contribution for Q3?
So segment revenue, basically, we will break it down into 4 broad categories. IT consumer, which is at about 37 to 38%. IT enterprise, which is at about 42%. Mobility, which is at 15%, and rest, which comprises of cloud and lifestyle and hardware services, is all put together at about 5%.
And sir, do you see this thing changing over years?
Very difficult to predict over the years because our focus is very clearly on driving profitability and not only in absolute terms, in terms of ROI. So we are working on categories which give us better returns. And what has happened is this year our progression towards enterprise business has been slow because the consumer business has been a strong driver. And at the same time, there's been able to work on shorter cycles and thereby improving the ROI. So we will have to gauge over the next couple of quarters till things stabilize, by when we'll get a more firmer idea as to how we will progress in future.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir. That was helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Nimish Sheth from GT Advising. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, good morning, sir. How are you?
Morning. Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm good. Can you just talk about your recent partnerships? You already have several associations with, for example, Microsoft, SAP. I'm just seeing your cloud computing. You've added Acronis for India for cyber security and data protection, etc. So
Yeah.
Can you just give us a little idea on what's going on? You also signed a service agreement with HP to provide aftermarket support, etc. So just elaborate on some of those initiatives and how they will help going forward.
So, in terms of new sign-ups in the FY21, we've had 3, if I'm correct. One is HP on the services front. Second is Dahua, which is on the physical safety and surveillance. Third is Acronis, as rightly mentioned, it's cyber security and data protection. The sign-up have been a little slow because what has happened is when there's so much of uncertainty going on in the environment, and very rightly so, all brands do not want to take any calls during such periods. These were discussions we are having for quite some time and therefore they materialized. But once situation stabilizes, of course, we are engaged with all the prospective brands that we want to associate with. And once things stabilizes, then I'm sure the journey will continue on the same path in line with the strategy of the organization. Now, coming to these 3 brands, Acronis, even though signed up, is a slow start, will not give a significant contribution in revenue, but that's the case with all brands. The start is slow and then it starts gaining momentum once we integrate very clearly with the brand and then we have a go-to-market strategy which gets executed. Dahua has shaped up quite well. It's progressing quite well. It's number 2, number 3 brand in India in the physical safety and surveillance business and growing. HP services also, HP is more or less the number 1 brand in the PC printing space, and therefore the service, again, the start was slow because we signed up around Q4, Q1, and the start was really slow because of the COVID movement, restrictions, etc. But now it's gaining momentum and we are adding to our team of engineers to support the HP service business. So I would say, to summarize, HP and Dahua has stabilized and on growth path. Acronis hopefully will stabilize in this quarter and we should look at good business in the next financial year.
Okay, noted. Now, I have just one more question. In Q4 of the previous fiscal year, ending March 20, you would have had some impact of the lockdown, right? Some days of sales would have got impacted, etc. Am I correct on that assumption?
You're right. We did lose. It was a very small period of about 7 to 8 days, which were lost.
Right. Correct. Now, you've already announced that in Q3, your revenues have crossed the Q3 of last fiscal. Q3 of this fiscal revenues have crossed Q3 of last fiscal, and hence things seem to be falling in place. Can we assume a similar trend going forward? So your Q4 would be better than Q4. Are you now picking up YOY?
So, last quarter, as I just shared, our consumer business grew over the previous year, and the enterprise business has been slow. And we are seeing normally Q4 is a good quarter for the enterprise business, but it's a little slow because companies are still getting back to CapEx and looking at investments on the IT front. While the momentum, once it picks up, will definitely do well, because I think with what happened, companies realize the importance of IT. But to answer your question, yes, we are seeing a positive Q4, and we hope to end on a positive note.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much, and all the best. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Arush Oberoi from VD Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. Sir, I would like to know which are the business segments you are focusing on to grow?
So, our strategy very clearly remains to be a broad-based distributor. There are a lot of strengths by being present in all the segments, and therefore we don't really want to say that we want to be an only IT consumer company or an IT enterprise company. So we have very clearly demarcated ourselves into these divisions which I shared earlier. And what will drive is the profitability aspect. So we will keep changing the levers basis where we are able to deploy our resources and get better returns. So that is a broad strategy with which we are going forward. We will see plus minus, if I were to say, the percentages that I shared in terms of the various divisions, we will see plus minus in the next financial year, maybe plus minus 2, 3, 4% between each of these divisions. Of course, in terms of momentum, as a percentage year over year, cloud will grow better, but still it's small, so it may not become a significant contributor as such.
Okay. So, and do you plan to raise equity in the current year?
If we look at our 3-year strategy, yes, we will infuse equity. The question is when, and it may be FY22, it may be FY23. FY21 is ruled out.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sachin Shah from HS Securities. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir, for giving an opportunity to ask question. I have a couple of questions with respect to mobile and laptop brands. Do we plan to add any new mobile or laptop brands in the company?
In terms of mobile, we are trying to, there are only 5 or 6 brands which dominate the Indian marketplace. We all know the brands. They are Samsung, Apple, Oppo, Vivo, Xiaomi, and maybe a little bit of lately Redmi. So if something comes up in this space, yes, we will look at it. But beyond this, we may not want to look at it because it may not really make sense. We want to associate with brands with which we see long-term play in the market and with them. Coming to laptops, also the strategy is something similar. In fact, laptops as a category offers lower margins, and therefore it's not a very high focused area from the company point of view. But in the event we see an opportunity which matches our goals in terms of the returns, then again, there are 4 or 5 brands only which really make sense.
On a similar product like tablet?
Tablet is too small a space while it made inroads and a lot of noise when it got launched. But of lately, the volumes are not all that great. But tablets typically ride on the laptop brands only.
Okay. And does making IT products in India benefit CompuEdge in any way?
So we are totally indifferent. Today, as we speak, except for smartphones, I don't think anything else by and large is manufactured in India. Now, we will continue to source from all these brands that we have association with, whether they procure internationally from their international factories or international contracting factories, or whether they do that from India. So I don't think we would benefit in any way in the event the same were to manufactured in India. I think these brands will have to take a call basis the policies of government India, the directions and what benefits them. Are there any benefits in terms of made in India? Are there many benefits in terms of cost reduction? I think that is a call they will take. So whatever transpires, the cost transfers to us and the customers will remain the same by these brands.
Okay. And just one more query. Is there any brand addition during this quarter? With respect
in this quarter, there may be closure of one brand which is on final stages of discussion. Until it closes, we will not want to make any announcements. But yes, one is an advanced stage of discussion.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next question is from the line of Akash Jain from Ajcon Global Services Limited. Please go ahead.
Congratulations, sir, for a good result on Y-on-Y basis and coming back to pre-COVID levels. Sir, my concern is regarding Q-on-Q profitability. We have seen the economy has bounced back strongly in the festive season. So why is that on Q-on-Q basis our profitability has been down despite good gross margin?
Our profitability is not lower. If you, unless maybe I'm missing the question. If you see our profitability on Q-on-Q basis, we've registered a 6.1 crore profit as against 5.4 crore year over year. So, is this what you are inquiring or something else?
I'm comparing with September quarter.
So, okay, you're talking, sorry, not year over year. You were talking about quarter over quarter. So I think broadly the numbers remain similar. I think what has happened is we are getting into groove in terms of all our activities, including the marketing activities and all that, which was at subdued level in Q2, which has increased in this quarter, that is Q3, which has increased the spend and therefore has an impact on the profitability of the company.
Okay. So for going forward, we are not facing any challenges as such. It would be a good period for us.
I think the fears which were there at the end of Q1, COVID was still fresh in our minds. I think all that is behind us. We are very, very confident of now we are reworking the way it's a normal quarter in terms of strategies, plans, growth, expansion. So, those kind of fears are not there, and we are confident moving forward, business will be as usual.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you may press star and one. The next question is from the line of Arush Oberoi from Victor Delta Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello. Sorry, sir, got disconnected. So my question was, do you plan to raise equity in the current year?
FY21, no. The FY22 plans have yet to be formed up. So as and when we form up, we'll be able to take a call as to what and what quantum that we want to raise.
Okay. And is there any plan to reduce debt in the next 1 or 2 years?
So I will answer it differently. The plans will be to reduce the debt equity ratio and not debt in absolute terms, because since we want to grow, reducing working capital, which is the raw material for our business, will not be possible, will not be a realistic situation. But two things. One is maybe, as I just mentioned, consider equity infusion, which would help improve the ratio, and B, improve the cycles, which would help reduction, or I shouldn't say reduction, which would help in not increasing the debt in that proportion.
That is from my side. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Keshav Garg from CCILP. Please go ahead.
Sir, I wanted to understand that our largest competitor, Redington, sir, it has become debt-free in the past 2 years. And so if we compare both the companies, the gross margins are broadly similar, operating margins are 2% are broadly similar. Our inventory days and debtor days are also broadly similar. So their payable days are much higher, Redington. And so that is what's happening, what's helping them balance their working capital and helping them become debt-free. And sir, instead of raising equity like we are doing, they are doing share buyback, which is the opposite. So what are they doing different, which we are not able to do? So since it's basically the same industry apart from the size.
Yes, what Redington is doing is fantastic. While our inventory and receivable days may be similar, I think one area is something that the creditors' days are similar with similar vendors being worked at by CompuAge and Redington and others in the space. So if we have similar vendors, the payment terms would be similar. It's only that we work with a much smaller number of vendors, and they work with vendors which are possibly 3 times the number of vendors. And that is where possibly some of the vendors, they may be able to offer better terms, which would help them reducing increasing the payable days and help reduce the net working cycle, which is much better than us. So I think that is something, that is one thing. Second is, yes, I think that is one area which we'll have to work on in terms of not increasing debt significantly and help curtail on our debt, which would help improve our margins in the business.
Sir, so basically what I'm trying to understand for other shareholders would also be looking for, if we can broadly replicate what this Redington is doing, then our future will be very bright, because that company has become debt free, doing buyback. So you think that it's possible for us to succeed in replicating some of the best practices that they might be doing? So since it's a listed company and they hold conference call, everything, so it's a publicly information is available. So you think that we can also do something like that in future?
Absolutely. We have to learn from our peers in the industry in India and globally, and try and replicate all the best practices be it on financial parameters, be it on business parameters or any other parameter whatsoever. And let me acknowledge what they've delivered last quarter is fantastic. And taking a cue from that, yes, that is what we would like to work towards. It will take us time. It will not happen in the immediate future. The horizon I'm not able to pen down at this moment, but that is what we would also eventually like to work towards.
Okay, sir. Great, sir. Best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Reminder to the participants, to ask a question, you may press star and 1. Participants who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 now. As there are no further questions, I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Atul Mehta for closing comments.
Thank you everyone for joining the call. I hope I have been able to answer most of your queries. In case if you have any queries now or at a later stage, you may kindly contact SGA, our investor relations partners. Thank you so much.
Thank you. On behalf of CompuEdge Infocom Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.